comedy films are obviously the aim is to create laughter in their audience, because, well, that's what comedy is. Like horror films, they want to scare the audience or make them jump if it's a jump scare horror film, which sounds good, but that's not the point. But comedy films, they want to make you laugh, and they do this with several like sub genres or sub comedy genres, such as you can combine two genres, such as you can get horror comedies, which like Scream, Shaun of the Dead, that kind of thing. You can get rom-coms, romantic comedies. I wish I had an example of that, but what's that wrong? Oh well, doesn't matter. They appeal to different niche audiences of the comedy bulk audience, and the thing with comedy is it's got a pretty large audience, probably one of the large audiences for any genre, because everyone likes to laugh. I mean, not everyone likes to be scared, not everyone likes action films, romance, all that kind of thing, but almost everyone likes to laugh, and so comedy is a pretty beefy genre. There are joke king comedies, which build up carefully planned moments that create comedy. So there'd be some build-up, tension build-up. Not so necessarily tension, but there's a big build-up to a comedy scene, and that big scene makes the audience laugh because of the big build-up and the actual joke itself. There are gross-out films which have something not necessarily disgusting, as the name would suggest, but they lead up to bigger jokes, so it's all about these big jokes that go off. They don't necessarily have to be disgusting, so I know it doesn't have to be like Family Guy is, which is sometimes pretty off, but they have that kind of thing. You get narrative comedies as well, which they're more about relationships and social statuses, and high school films, teenage high school films. They're pretty good examples of narrative comedies. They're pretty generic as well, but most of them are pretty awful because they're all the same film. But that's not the point. When you make a comedy film, the timing of the scenes, the jokes, the comical moments, whatever it is that you're using to make the audience laugh, it's very important how you time it, because if you just throw it in their face straight away, it's not going to be as good as, say, if you built it up, like with the Jokes King comedy. Most of this information is from a Google search on genre comedies, by the way. It's all secondary search. But the being able to analyze the character types and situations will increase the amount of laughter you can create. So if you have a weak character and you have a strong character, and then you use the weak character to make the strong character look weak, then you can create comedy like that, which can be good. So, for example, say if in American Dad, Steve, Stan's wimpy son, and Stan being a CIA super dad agent person, if Steve were to make Stan look weak, then it would be comical because it would be ironic and it would be a reversal of their roles, which could be quite effective. Although for my film that doesn't really apply because it's about a food object rather than people, really, and there's no real social interaction except for the vague reference of he's got a girlfriend. That's about it, because the rest is just carrots. Most comedy appeals to, well, as I said earlier, comedy is the largest genre. Most people like it because everyone wants to laugh. But the specific subgenres have specific audiences or niche audiences, so you can use that. But there isn't really a subgenre of food comedy, at least nothing big enough to be classed as a subgenre. So mine doesn't really fall into that, but you could call it a Jokes King or a gross-out comedy, because it does build up to most of the time it's building up to something bigger, but I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what subgenre carrots would fall under. But additionally, the animated film Coin, which I looked up, which I researched for my research section. That's well done. Anyway, that video is about it's a very simple concept. It's a guy. It's animation, as I said a second ago. It's about a guy who's in a video game, and someone steals his coin, so he goes around beating random people up to get his coin back. And as he goes along, he gets stronger and stronger as if he's leveling up, and as he's doing games, so it follows the codes and conventions of a game as well. And it's a very simple idea. He wants his coin back. and he just does all this crazy stuff, beating people up to get this coin back. But the use of it being a video game applies to a niche audience of probably people more like me who are 15 to 24 years old, boys mostly, and people who like violence, really, even comedy violence, because it's not real violence. Well, obviously not real violence in animation, but it's not really bad violence. It's just comical, slapstick kind of violence. But that appeals to a niche audience, which would be me, as I said a second ago. And I could use that in my carrot film. So, for example, the film Ted, that appeals to 15, 24 years old, mostly males, so there's a good amount of girls who like that film. I think it was AB, C1 and C2 class that liked that kind of film, or liked Ted, sorry. And I could use that to my advantage, so for example, I'm pretty much the target audience for the film Ted, and I could use that in my film, because my film is quite similar to Ted, because Ted's a gross-out comedy, or King's joke comedy. So I could use that and apply the same concepts to my film and have the target audience as the same as Ted's target audience. And I got off topic of comedy of genre there. Comedy of genre? No. Anyway, that's my target audience and codes and conventions of comedy films vlog. I forgot to mention the target audience with at the start, but there you go.